What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Lil Daryl. On this video today, we're gonna talk about how I got a deal in Ada, North Carolina. Y'all know I started my real estate journey June 1st, and it's a whole new year, but I'm actually gonna make these next couple videos about all the deals I did from June to December. Now, on this deal in particular, it was in Ada, North Carolina. How I got the lead, I got it from Property Leads, one of my favorite PPL providers. It was a countywide lead in Pitt County, North Carolina. If y'all know about Pitt County, the 2-5, shout out Greenville. I got a lot of people out there that I know in Greenville. So I used to work out there a lot too. But yeah, this lead came from Property Leads. I did a Pitt County countywide campaign. So the lead came in, it was a $75 lead. So as soon as I got the lead, this one I actually didn't text him off rip. So I called him, we had a great conversation for about 30 minutes. He was telling me about the property, telling me how he had a tenant in there. He had long-term tenants, they were great tenants that he really didn't care to, sell the property, but he wanted to see what was up. He was time for a change. He wanted to actually liquidate some cash and funds so he could put it into his other business. So I gave him an offer. Now, I can't lie. He wanted a high offer at first. Like, when I first talked to him, he just had so much insight about the property. Like, yeah, I bought this a while back. I know this area is growing. It's not too far from ECU, this, that. So he was trying to get the most he could for the property. So when I initially locked up this property, I knew the ARV in the area was about, right, conservatively, like max 270. It was on 4 acres of land, so it did have a lot of land, which, helped increase the value. But, I still had it locked up too high in the beginning. Now, I initially got the property under contract for $200,000. Okay, so I got it under contract for $200,000. Once I got under contract, I put it on the market. Y'all know I list everything on the MLS. All right. So once I learned about listing stuff on the MLS, that's the method that I stick with on every deal. So then ended up dropping the price, all right, to like 210. Still didn't get any bites at 210, like I said, and the tenants were living in there at the time, so wasn't able to do any showings, right? I was supposed to do one showing with this potential buyer that I met on Facebook Marketplace. He ended up going out there an hour late, missing the set appointment that the tenants had scheduled, and the tenants ended up leaving, so he didn't even get to walk the property. So, I had it under contract the minute, nothing happening, no activity, had it on Facebook Marketplace, had that buyer that missed the walkthrough, so that didn't look good. But then, the seller ended up telling me that, look, I'm out of town, I'm gonna be in town on this date, so you can meet me in person. So most of the deals I've done, I've never met the sellers in person. This was the only deal that I did that I actually met the seller in person. I actually, went back to visit North Carolina, visit some friends. So I went to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I said, I'm gonna go pull up Aiden. So I met the seller at the property and shook his hand, real cool guy, walked the property. And like I said, when he got there, he found out that day that the tenants had moved out. Listen, he was like, what? The tenants didn't even tell me they moved out. I just came back. There's some stuff messed up. I hit him up like, what's up? And he was like, the tenant said, yeah, we see that you ended up putting the property on the market. So we wanted to be proactive and we moved out. So I guess, for me, I wasn't too mad at that because I'm like, well, now the property is vacant. So at least I could do showings easier now, right? But the tenant was like, not the tenant, the seller was like, dang, they didn't even give me a heads up, a warning, or nothing. So he's in there trying to fix things. I'm like, look, you don't got to fix anything. I'm still getting the property as is. You don't got to do anything. I'll help you get the property off in the condition it's in. But it was actually a good thing. Now that the tenants were out, okay, and now that the property was vacant, and now that we see the damages on the property, I'm there with him to see the damages together. So like, you can't cap to me. Like, we both seeing that it's not worth no 200. I was able to, get a price reduction, okay? So I negotiated with him. That same day that I met with the seller, I actually scheduled the buyer that missed out on the first walkthrough that came late. I scheduled for him to have another chance to look at it, so he ended up coming too. So it was me, the seller, and the buyer all at the property looking at it together. The potential buyer, ended up coming to me. He was like, look, I'm gonna be real with you. I wouldn't pay no more than like, I'll be low. 80, 90,000, I think is what he told me. I said, hell nah, bro. He not doing that. I already know he not gonna do that. All right. So, but like I said, now that I was there with the seller and I seen that it definitely needed more repairs, I went back home, ran numbers, and I told him, I said, look, I'm gonna come back with you. We're gonna talk more. I'm still interested in helping you get this thing sold, and I know, if you trust me, because he knew I was wholesaling his property. One thing about me is I'm transparent with my seller, so I didn't lie to him. Like, he knew I was trying to make money off his property. He was fine. He just wanted to make sure he got the price that he wanted, to walk away with. So ran numbers again based off of what I seen with the repairs. It told me that I needed to be no more than 140 in the calculator. I ran numbers with the same calculator that you guys can get down below. So the calculator told me I needed to be no more than 140 for my MAO. So I offered him 140. He took it, sent him a new contract and addendum. We re-signed at 140. Now that I got the contract re-signed at 140, I also restarted the contract and gave me another 60 days. But I told him, look, it's not gonna take no 60 days. And he was like, I ain't trying to have it take no 60 days, but hurry up and let's get this thing sold. So dropped the price on the MLS. I dropped it to like 170. Right when I dropped it 170, the phone started calling. So buyer's agent called me. When the buyer's agent called me, I scheduled the showing. This time it was easy to schedule the showing because I actually had a key in a lockbox because I was able to, get that done once I found out it was vacant. So got the key in the lockbox, gave it to the buyer's agent. She went to walk her buyers through the property. They came back to me, liked it. At first they came with an offer of like I think it was like 145. Ended up counter offering them. I told them I'll do 152. They agreed to the 152. She sent me the proof of funds that got them signed. Now, this realtor, one, she didn't really deal with wholesalers before. And I tried to do an assignment of contract, but she said that her buyers didn't want to do an assignment of contract. So I actually double closed on this property. I reached out to my transactional funding partner, Mr. Dave Dinkle. Shout out to Dave, love you, Dave. So yeah, Dave, he funded the A to B and the B to C, double closed on it. So I actually took ownership of the property technically for a little bit. So I owned the property for a little bit. Wow. But anyways, yeah, that was how that deal went. And it was smooth. I ended up making $5,500 on this deal. I'll post a picture of the check and have it pop up. But this was actually the first physical check that I got from a real estate deal. Most of my deals, I just tell them to wire me, So I just get a deposit into my Navy Fed. But this time I actually picked up the check, And actually they mailed it to me. So they mailed me the check. But it was good because it was tangible. I got to feel the money, feel the check. I went to the bank, deposited right into my account, and that was a smooth deal. The seller was happy. He actually had a business that he was trying to start. I'll actually drop his business down below, get his website, give him some love, show him some love to his business down below. He was happy that he was able to get the funds. He said he was going to reinvest the funds back into his business. I was just happy that I was able to solve a problem, right? And get the property sold in a timely manner like he wanted. So that's how that deal went right there in Ada, North Carolina. It was a $75 property lead that turned into a $5,500 deal, all right? We're going to see on the next video more stuff, more deal reviews, all that. This year I'm going to be a lot more consistent with the uploading. I'm actually shooting this video on my DJI Pocket 3, so way more better quality on the audio and the visuals for y'all, and I'm definitely going to be dropping a lot more content for y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next video.
Christian Dior on my back. This is Saturday rap, I'm at. She on my vibe.